Sometimes, revenge isn't about anger, it's about survival. I didn't grow up like other children. While others played in the streets, I learned to hide in the shadows of my own home. My father's anger filled the nights, and my mother's tears became my lullaby. I was just a child, yet I knew what fear tasted like, and how silence could be louder than any scream. That childhood wasn't just memories, it was a warning, a reminder that the world was never fair to me, and that one day, I would have to fight back. Meet Daniel and Claire. They grew up in a strict religious commune in the Midwest, where freedom was forbidden. Dating, love, independence, all treated as sins. Daniel and Claire were rebels in their hearts. They met secretly, exchanged books banned by the community, and dreamed of escaping one day. But when their parents caught them holding hands at just 17, the punishment was marriage. Forced marriage. For a while, they lived under suffocating control, until they secretly saved money. At 20, they ran away in the middle of the night. One car, a few bags, and a dream of freedom. Soon after, they divorced amicably. They never really loved each other romantically. What they shared was trauma-bonded friendship. They stayed roommates, more like siblings, but deeply loyal to each other. Years later, Daniel had built a modest new life. He was cycling home one night when a drunk driver ran a red light. Crash. Metal against metal. Everything turned dark. He was rushed to the ICU, barely hanging on. Claire, still his closest family, was called immediately. She rushed to the hospital, panicked and crying, only to be pushed aside hours later. Daniel's blood family had arrived. The same family who once tried to control every part of his life. Legally, Claire had no rights. She wasn't his wife anymore. She couldn't make decisions for him. His parents began pushing the hospital to release him into their care, not for his health but for control. In their twisted faith, suffering meant redemption. Claire begged everyone to listen. They don't want him to heal. They want him to suffer. They'll let him die if it means proving they were right. No one believed her until a nurse whispered that Daniel's parents were bringing lawyers to gain custody. That was the moment Claire realized if she did nothing, Daniel would die. Claire switched from grief to fire. She had dirt on Daniel's family, years of dark secrets hidden in their empire. She called the IRS, reporting millions in tax fraud. She contacted the ATF about their illegal gun sales. She reported the daycare run by Daniel's mother, over 30 kids crammed in a single house, run by teenagers. She even tipped off child services about abuse in the family. One call after another, one report after another. Claire set fire to their empire, not literally but legally. And then she waited. Within hours, Daniel regained consciousness, enough to make his own decision. He kicked his family out of the ICU. He survived, but the storm Claire unleashed had only just begun. Weeks later, the voicemails began. His family screamed at both Daniel and Claire. The IRS froze their business accounts. Federal agents began investigating their illegal gun trade. The daycare was shut down. One abusive uncle was arrested and sentenced to prison. Children forced into labor were finally allowed to attend school. Their once powerful family empire crumbled into dust. Daniel, though left with permanent nerve damage and tremors, rebuilt his life. He never fully healed physically, but he was free and alive. Claire, she never regretted a single phone call. Her revenge wasn't just payback, it was salvation. Sometimes, the only way to protect someone you love is to burn everything that threatens them to the ground.